Several years ago, when I was back in grade school, pre-2001, if a student was having issues with reading, writing, and arithmetic, they had tutors, they had special classes for us to take. Well, those times have kind of changed. 2001, No Child Left Behind was established, and that concepts were sound at the time, but I'm going to go over some of the guidelines of how that does impact and changes the way that we view things. Let me tell you firsthand, being held back, it hurts your pride. It is something that you don't want when you're a student. But I also believe that not every child deserves a trophy for failing. The concept of No Child Left Behind was established to standardize tests, to make sure that schools are held accountable, to keep the federal government as established to keep things on an improving scale. To do this, I'm going to talk about some of the things such as the federal government and their guidelines. How does that impact teachers? And ultimately, how does that impact the students? Good morning, my name is Sean Reynolds, and today I'm going to talk to you about No Child Left Behind and some of the pros and cons that are involved with it. As I stated earlier, No Child Left Behind was established by the federal government in 2001. Again, the standardized tests were set up to grade schools and making sure that they are held accountable for what we're teaching or what they are teaching, and to keep them on point. Studies have shown that this has worked. The standardized tests continue to improve, and the scores continue to improve. Well, a standardized test for a fifth grader this year will be the exact same for next year, but is that really grading our schools on, are they teaching what's required? Well, that moves into my next point, is teachers themselves and the schools that basically employ them. Teachers have learned to teach the test, so to speak. Now, this was not the established guidelines of the government, but teachers being held accountable, if they fail 2 years in a row, that could be their job. If fail 5 years in a row, the school could lose complete funding. How do you overcome that? You can't just teach the test. Teachers have learned that they cut out certain things such as art and some literature because they need the time to teach the test. They need the resources, and their jobs are held accountable for it. Well, that's all well and good for teachers, but who does that impact? I'm already out of grade school. That doesn't impact me. But as a parent, that does impact some of us. It impacts the students. The students aren't taught basic skills. Some of the basic skills include time. How do you go through life without knowing how to tell time? It's not on the test. Money. You don't have to teach counting money. How do you go through life without counting money? Again, the government did not establish this concept to just teach the test, but that's what's happened. When these kids go to grade school and then move into middle school and into high school, now they're told to apply some of these basic skills that they're taught. As you can see on the chart below, is dropout rates have doubled since earlier, before these tests. It's because the students have not learned how to apply basic skills that they're required to know. This also, I'm sure, impacts some of the college students now going into college. Basically, in summary, I have talked about the government, some of the teachers' impacts, and ultimately, as a parent, how does that affect our students? The overall concept was great in the idea. How it is applied and teaching basic life skills, I think it has failed. We as parents and checking the report card and just seeing A's and B's, those times are over. You have to talk to your child, talk to the teachers. Make sure that our children are not left behind. Don't settle just for the standard test. We need to ensure that our students and our children are ready to take our places when it's their time. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This concludes my brief.